Hello everybody and welcome to Demo Review. Here we have JC Beast. He sent in this demo. He is around Gold Nova 2. And he is looking to improve on his game, so keep that in mind as you watch this. And let's see. We are in round 2 here, and he does some pretty normal stuff here. Just kind of gets a pick mid there. And then they all decide to go along. And what I want to talk about is coming up here once they take the site. They do successfully take it. They smoke the cross, which is good. And then you'll see he comes up here and sits behind these barrels right here. Now the problem with that is, while you are sort of covered, it's pretty tough to shoot through those gaps there. As only his head is exposed, which is a thing on itself, but he has not really many places to go. He's kind of caught out in the open here. It's going to take him a little bit to sort of fall back behind this wall if he does sort of get caught out. As you see, he is falling back now. He does successfully fall back. Now, if they did have more than 2 players pushing, he'd pretty much be dead. But it was a pretty good round there, overall, for their team. But again, but again, just kind of work on your positioning there as you're holding the site, because you did have a guy push Cat. He was watching Cat. You could go into Goose or anywhere behind those boxes to keep yourself a little bit more covered. You always want to make sure that you have some cover to fall behind pretty quickly. Alright, so he's going to be coming up Cat here. Checking his angles, which is nice. Very nice. Now they have the severe man advantage here, but again, the positioning, he's kind of out in the open here. And all of his teammates are literally watching the same spot. If we pause this and look at the map, we have Warmaker here pushing up. And look where they're all looking. This guy's looking, well, he's looking at the wall right here, but they're all looking into CT. JC looks like he is going to be rotating to look at the Cat. Again, Wicked is looking down into CT as well. And Warmaker could easily come up and get, at the very least, 1 or 2 picks. And they haven't even planted the bomb. The bomb is down way over here. So again, you got to make sure that you have at least 1 person watching your back here. I'm not sure if Wicked's about to turn there and look, but let's see. Resume here. Yeah, you're all kind of just going towards the same direction, and that leaves you completely open. Your back is turned. And luckily, someone kind of caught him. The guy kind of whiffed pretty hard. He's going to be peeking here. Checking his angles. He does see the gun barrel there. And there we go. They do manage to take the round, but you got to make sure that you always have someone watching your back. I know it's a little bit tough in matchmaking, but it's just something you gotta keep in mind. So round 6 here. Another round I do want to talk about. Just gonna fast forward here a little bit. Very nice little flick shot there. Nice pick. You'll see what I am talking about here in a brief moment. So first off, gotta work on your nades a little bit. Very minor thing, pretty easy to do. Just hop into a server. But you'll notice, they take the site, and there's only 2 left. But again, they have 1, 2, and I believe eventually 3 players. One stands like right about here, watching mid. They're all watching mid. You only have 1 watching tunnels. I believe he might go down here, unless he gets the pick. Yeah, Pekin does get the pick, and then you have 1 watching here. But you got 3 watching mid, and you're a little bit out of position sitting up here and down here, because it could easily do a 2 versus 4. Because it could easily pick these 2 players here, and then they have this guy sitting here. And then this guy in tunnels, which, you know, could easily be disposed of. So, in a situation like that, it's kind of best to maybe have 1 person sitting outside the site, either here or here. And then, you know, someone maybe back here, back by car, maybe back here. So you definitely want to have people covering the angles there. So again, another round here that I want to talk about. This, mostly, if you miss the op shot, it's best not to go for the repeat. You did do a good thing there, rotating your position, but if you miss a shot, you don't really want to re-peek, even though you did win the round, I believe. Alright, so round 8 here. Another thing I do want to talk about. I believe what I want to talk about is that you went for the 5 op setup. Not good. I mean, again, if you missed that op shot, you're pretty much good as dead against most players. I guess these guys were kind of scrubby as they were crying in the chat, but the reason you want to go for at least 2 or 3 AKs. I mean, 3 ops is a little bit of a stretch. The 2 AKs, should your teammates with the AKs die, or should you miss your op shot, that teammate with the AK, there's the crying there calling him a fucking cheater, but the player with the AK should be able to get the frag should you miss the op shot. And if he does die, you do have the option to pick up the AK in a situation where you would need it. Pretty risky to run down suicide, but you did smoke it, so that is okay. Do a pretty good job at checking your angles as you come up here, as you'll see in a second. Minor thing that you kind of just opted for the spray, whereas you should have kind of sprayed maybe 3 or 4 bullets and then pulled off the spray and then sprayed more. I'm guilty of doing that little panic spray quite often, though. I myself need to work on that, but that's something that you could have sort of changed. Just gonna fast forward here. Again, the dangerous peak here in suicide, but I believe you do get the pick. There it is. I believe what I want to talk about right here is how you peek through the smoke. Yeah, it's pretty normal, but what you could do here... Oh, this part's actually really cool. He does see his leg a little bit through the corner, but what you could do is stand right here. And what I do notice actually is that you don't buy very many nades. And nades are pretty instrumental to taking thing, but you could stand here and throw a pop flash off this wall here. It will bounce up and over, and it will blind anybody playing that corner. And that's pretty much the only thing I wanted to talk about here. But again, you have the 2 sniper rifles. It's a little bit risky to play, but I believe they do take the round. You do finally buy some nades. But you do have Leo here who buys the SG but doesn't buy any body armor. And let's take a look at your money here. You have a lot of money across all these players, and you don't buy you pretty much buy no nades, and that is, again, a problem. You want to really stock up on as many nades as you can. If you have to opt for, like, a Galil over an AK or something, just to get those nades, that is good. I believe what I am going to, or what happens here. Yeah, so you get the pick, and then you stay in the same spot. While you do get the pick again, it's pretty dangerous to stay in the same spot with the op. You really want to focus on getting the pick and then rotating your position, because, again, you sit here for quite a while your team is trying to take long, and what you should be doing after you got that pick is pushing up cat, because as you can see, these 2 players are watching both long, and Wick is kind of pinned down here. They're focused on him, and you have maybe not a banana pushing up behind. I really wanted to be pushing up cat a lot sooner. I know it's a little bit scary with an op, but Wicked and I can't remember who else was down there had their full attention, and you could have been up here supporting them pretty quickly. Pretty much go for a straight up B take. Now what I want to talk about here, let's pause. Notice the loadout here on the terrorist side. You got Leo with a P250 nade and a Molotov. You got Wicked with a Deagle Kevlar helm. Aqua with a Bazone, and Oxy with, or Oxa with pretty much nothing, and then JC, you full bot here. Now, if you're going to eco, have 3 players eco, you want to have all the players eco. Don't even bother with the Bazone, because against armored opponents is pretty much useless. You have Unconnected, I guess, I don't know who that is, sitting in spawn there, he's AFK, but if you're going to go for 3 players eco, go for all players eco, because look at your economy here. You're all pretty much in the pooper. In fact, JC could have even maybe bought a Galil or something. And again, not very many nades. But he could have bought a Galil for, I don't know, Oxa or Wicked. If Wicked just bought Kevlar, he could have gotten that Galil and some nades. I believe Aqua, which is money like, he could have gone for the Kevlar helmet. I think he should have all just straight up saved there. Let's fast forward a little bit. There's a box. Why is there a box? That was weird. Some pretty normal stuff you peek along here. Now, let's clear this. Let's pause for a second. Look at the positioning of all these players here. They're all pretty much focused on mid and cat, with JC watching long. They left a B completely open, so these terrorists here could either go up here and plant the bomb, or they could even maybe go up cat. Because these 2 players, not really much to deal with, but they left B completely open, and with something as important as a pistol round, that is not something you want to do. And I believe the terrorists do come in the site here pretty much uncontested, really. They do have pecking or peeking here, lurking. But again, look, watch these terrorists. These guys are all just rotating into T spawn. They prematurely rotated. Or CT spawn, excuse me. they're all rotating behind. There's nobody there. They just get into the site and plant the bomb, and believe they take the round. No, they don't. They actually didn't get the pistol round. So next round here, round 18. But for that, yeah, definitely always leave at least one person on the site to hold off that push. They do it again here. They stack all these players here. Finally, Wicked does rotate towards the B site, but it's pretty much too late at this point. I mean, they're going to be able to push into the site. You got 3 players watching mid. We have Leo pushing up behind, which is kind of nice. But again, they go into the site uncontested. Look at that. Just sitting here. The optimal setup for Dust 2, at least what I prefer to do, is one player watching site either here or back here. One player watching mid either from the door here, or if they have an op from right around here, or on this corner here with the op to watch cat. Because that gives them the opportunity to rotate pretty quickly into B to help this player that's either sitting here, or maybe even here. So that's something that you could do. So again, 1, 1, and then 3 somewhere on here. Usually 1 will be like on cat. Or Goose there watching cat. Maybe 1 on cat. 1 long, or 2 long is preferable. But again, you just gotta work on keeping at least 1 player there on the B site. Again, you're not buying really any nades, yet you have enough money to buy at least a smoke and a flash. Maybe even 2 flashes and like a decoy or something. When you peek this angle here, there's like a little gap you can sort of throw nades through. You want to throw a nade, a flash nade preferably, bounce it off the top here, and it'll land like right up here and blind them before you peek. Because it's a pretty dangerous angle to peek without any nades. So here your money is kind of not the good. And again, you go for the Bazone, go for the Mag 7, you force buy, which you have a pretty good round advantage. You can just kind of eco for 1 round and have a pretty good money situation. But again, no nades, really, except for on Leo, but he has no body armor. Wicked goes for the scout, no nades. Again, more of the same. You have plenty of money. You have 2.6k. You didn't buy the helmet for the Kevlar, which should have been a pretty easy upgrade since you have 100 armor. Which I guess it's not necessarily that important because of the AK being a one-hit headshot, but they do have a Galil, a Scout, and an M4. And again, you bought no nades, even though you guys have plenty. Oh, wrong button, of money there. Let me look at your money. You have plenty of money to buy nades on most of these players. Nades are just absolutely pivotal to your success. I believe, again, you had not enough players here on B. And finally, round 24 is the last one I want to talk about, because it's more sort of redundant stuff that I've already talked about. Let's see, we fast forward here. They do finally put 2 players on B, but they put 3 players, which you don't have anybody watching mid. You're all watching tunnel. You gotta have at least 1 player sitting either here or again here, just watching mid, because they could easily do a mid to A or a mid to B. And finally, Aqua does rotate off, but they sort of prematurely rotate these players. You're all rotating towards A, even though you only saw these 2 players here. And while they do go A, you definitely want to make sure you see that bomb first before you fully commit all your players, because they could easily go back now into B uncontested. And then it's just sort of aiming here. Aqua doesn't really help you out any there, and he gets taken down. But that is basically all I want to talk about. So you just gotta really work on making sure you don't prematurely rotate. You gotta buy some nades, work on your ecoing. If you're gonna buy a Bazone, you should probably eco. But those are the few things that you could work on to improve your game. I have a weird crosshair here. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, definitely work on those few things. And as always, thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.